Imagine being so utterly terrified of one man that you quietly change the rules of the game just to make sure he doesn't get a word in. Not silence him outright, obviously, that would look bad, but muzzle him politely, procedurally, with a clipboard and a speaker's ruling. Welcome back, my friend, to Westminster. And today we're talking about Nigel Farage, PMQs, and a protest that's accidentally exposed the entire rotten circus. Picture it. December the 17th. Last Prime Minister's questions of 2025. The Commons is packed, the Christmas break is looming, MPs are desperate to get their faces on camera before disappearing to their second homes. This is supposed to be the big finale. The political pantomime before the curtain comes down for the year. And normally, this would be Nigel Farage's moment. His chance to stand up, ask a question, and do the one thing Westminster hates more than anything else, speak plainly to ordinary people. Except, he can't. Because the system won't let him. Now here's where it gets deliciously ridiculous. Reform UK is polling higher than the Liberal Democrats. Reform UK has 5 MPs. Reform UK represents millions of voters. And yet Nigel Farage, one of the most recognisable political figures in Britain, gets to ask the Prime Minister a question once every 9 weeks. 9 weeks. That's not scrutiny, that's rationing. That's not democracy, that's we'll allow you to speak when it's safe. Did you know that over 95% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel? We totally get it. Life gets busy, and sometimes it's easy to forget. But here's the thing. Subscribing is completely free, and it really helps us keep creating the content you enjoy. So, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? It only takes a second, but it makes a world of difference to us. Thank you for your support. And even when he does get called, it's a stitch-up. He asks the question. Starmer waffles back whatever he likes. And Farage? No right of reply. None. He just has to stand there while Labour MPs howl like they're at a football match, Tories smirk from the sidelines, and the Speaker pretends he's in control. It's less Mother of Parliaments and more Year 9 detention gone wrong. So Farage does what Farage always does. He flips the table. He says, enough. And instead of sitting there like a ceremonial punching bag, he walks out of the chamber and goes up to the public gallery. He watches PMQs the way a disappointed parent watches their child's disastrous school play, arms folded, shaking their head, thinking, how on earth did it come to this? And suddenly, funny that, everyone's paying attention. Because this wasn't some childish sulk. This was political theatre. Clever political theatre. By removing himself from the chamber, Farage wasn't throwing a tantrum. He was holding up a mirror. He was saying, look at this place. Look at how fake it is. Look at how rigged it is. This isn't debate. It's a closed shop where Labour and the Conservatives take turns asking each other pre-approved questions while pretending the rest of the country doesn't exist. And the media lapped it up. Of course they did. Farage not being in his seat became the story. Not whatever dreary soundbite Starmer was delivering. Not whatever rehearsed knockabout badenoch was performing. No, the real drama was the empty seat. The absence. The protest without a single shouted slogan. Now enter Carol Malone. And when Carol Malone enters a conversation, she doesn't tiptoe. Writing in the Daily Express and speaking on the Daily Espresso show, she went straight for the jugular. She said what most people watching PMQs at home are already thinking but aren't supposed to say out loud. She said they never give him the chance to talk. Whenever he does get a question, they ignore it or shout him down. They make so much noise in there, she said, it tells you 2 things. 1. Some of the people in that house are behaving like animals. And 2, and this is the important bit, they are absolutely terrified of him. Terrified. That's not mild criticism. That's not a gentle telling off. That's a veteran columnist calling the House of Commons a dysfunctional zoo where serious debate goes to die. And honestly, tell me she's wrong. Watch PMQs properly sometime. Not the polished 10-second clip on the evening news. Watch the whole thing. The braying. The jeering. The performative outrage. The Speaker barking order while nobody listens. This is the institution Britain exports to the world as a model of democracy. And it looks like an unruly episode of Jeremy Kyle with better suits. Now ask yourself this. Why does it get especially loud when Farage speaks? Why do Labour and Tory MPs suddenly lose all self-control? It's not because he's breaking some sacred parliamentary convention. It's because he connects. When Farage cuts through, when he lands a line, people at home nod. They don't need a politics degree to understand him. And that terrifies the establishment. Carol Malone nailed it. She said they're scared of him saying something that resonates. Because let's be honest, most of what Labour says doesn't land. Most of what the Conservatives say doesn't land either. It's managerial mush. Focus group sludge. And then along comes Farage, blunt, unscripted, occasionally infuriating, but unmistakably human. That's the nightmare scenario for Starmer. And badenoch. And the entire Westminster ecosystem. Because imagine Farage getting a proper platform. Imagine him being able to respond when attacked. Imagine him being treated like a serious political force instead of an inconvenience to be managed. So instead, they hide behind procedure. Here's how PMQs actually works, by the way, and this is where the fix becomes obvious. MPs enter a ballot for questions. The first 15 are drawn randomly. Then the Speaker uses discretion to balance parties. And to prove how fair and generous the system is, the leader of Reform UK is guaranteed one question every 9 weeks. Look, technically, yes, Farage can enter the ballot like everyone else. Technically, yes, he gets his allotted slot. But in reality, it means a party polling at 15 to 20% nationally gets less scrutiny time than the Lib Dems. It means obscure backbenchers you've never heard of get called week after week, while one of the most influential politicians in the country is rationed like wartime sugar. And here's the killer detail. When Labour or the Conservatives attack reform, which they do constantly, Farage has no chance to respond. None. He has to sit there while they take shots at him, jeer, shout, and smirk. It's a one-way conversation. And Westminster calls that fair. So when Farage walks out and watches from the gallery, it's not petulance. It's protest. It's saying, I'm not playing this game anymore. I won't be your prop. I won't legitimize a system designed to keep challengers quiet. And you could see it rattle them. Because for once, the script broke. For once, PMQs didn't go to plan. And if you think that doesn't matter, if you think symbolism is pointless, then ask yourself why they work so hard to control it. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, go on then, give him more time, let him speak, you're already ahead of Westminster. And if you're thinking, why does this system feel so closed, so smug, so allergic to challenge? Well done. You're asking the right questions. And here's the thing. You don't have to like Nigel Farage to see what's happening. You just have to have eyes. This is about power protecting itself. It always is. And when the noise gets loudest, when the jeering gets nastiest, that's when you know someone's landed a blow. If you've made it this far, do me a favor, tap like, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks PMQs is a serious democratic exercise. Because the more people who see behind the curtain, the harder it is for them to pretend nothing's wrong. And trust me, they hate that more than anything.